Majesties, Your Royal Highnesses, Bundespräsident Ueli Maurer, distinguished heads of state, heads of government, excellencies, dear friends, a very cordial welcome to the annual meeting of the World Economic Forum 2019. A welcome to this summit at the beginning of the year to look at the state of the world and to work together to improve the state of the world. We are here a true multi-stakeholder community. I welcome particularly our business community, our partners, our members. I thank you for your engagement and for your loyalty. I welcome very cordially the representatives of international organizations and governments who are here in a record number. I welcome, very important for the forum, the representatives of civil society, the NGOs, the cultural leaders, the trade union leaders. Very important, the participation of scientists, of experts. And this year, again, we have the participation of the young generation of social entrepreneurs. And I'm so pleased that we have social entrepreneurs, as you will see, and global shapers, young global leaders, to be the co-chairs of this meeting. With half of the population below 27 years old, we have to listen to the young people, and that's what we will do during this meeting. This meeting is not only a multi-stakeholder meeting, it's also a multidisciplinary meeting. We want, at the beginning of the year, to look at all the global challenges, and you have seen them in the introductory film, and to look at those challenges in a systemic way. It's very important to see the interconnections. The world and the issues are interdependent. For this reason, we have 400 different sessions, 200 sessions which are related to specific outcome-oriented work streams of the World Economic Forum. This meeting is also a truly global meeting, and I'm very pleased that we have record participation from emerging nations. I welcome particularly the strong Chinese delegation here. This meeting is also different because we want to use our energy and shape the future. We want to be future-oriented and not absorbed just by crisis management. Too much of the global energy at this moment is going into crisis management. But we are at crossroads of history, of humanity. We have now to shape the future, and that's what we will do over the next 4 days. We are also purpose-oriented, and the purpose of our presence here, of our work, is encapsulated into the theme of this annual meeting, which is Globalization 4.0. Shaping the global architecture for the age of the fourth industrial revolution. I want to make a differentiation between globalization and globalism. Globalization is a fact. Globalization will increase. We are part of a global community. We are interconnected. And particularly in the digital world, which doesn't know boundaries, our global interconnectedness will increase. Globalization is different. Globalization is the philosophy with which we approach globalization. The World Economic Forum never stood for unfettered globalization. We feel that globalization 4.0 has to be more human-centered, because we are now, in some way, in a battle between robots and humankind. We don't want to become the slaves of the new technologies. So globalization has to aim at being human-centered. But globalization 4.0, has also to be more inclusive. Let's not forget, multilateralism has helped to lift hundreds of millions of people out of poverty. But today, we cannot afford anymore to leave people behind in the age of social media, and if we take our consciousness of social justice. But very important, globalization 4.0 has also to be much more sustainable. This is the reason why we put so much emphasis on environmental issues during this meeting. And let me close just saying we need also a remoralization of globalization to recreate a values-based approach to globalization. I
now have the great honor to welcome the President of Switzerland, Mr. Ueli Maurer. The Federal President has been a member of the Swiss Federal Council for over 10 years. You came for the first time 7 years ago. At that time, you were Minister of Defense. Today, you come as a Minister of Finance. For me, you are a kind of symbol. A symbol of how one combines the old with the new. In your New Year's address, this is the point you made. We've got to be able to create bridges. And Switzerland is well known as the country which is able to do just that. And on the basis of its values, it tries to create bridges. And in this context, I would like to thank you and the Federal Council, as well as the Canton of Graubünden and the municipal authorities of Davos, for the hospitality that you have extended us for so many years. And I'm sure that that has contributed massively to our success. I'd also like to include in our thanks the hundreds and thousands of people who really make our lives here so productive and so safe and secure. Mr. Federal President, may I ask you to come forward and address us and to hold the opening speech.
Professor Schwab,
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Swiss government, allow me to welcome the World Economic Forum here in Switzerland, and more specifically here in Davos. You are our guests, and it is an honor for us, and it is wonderful for us to be able to welcome you in our snowy mountains. The WEF has been one of the most important platforms for the economy, for society and politics for a long time. The fact that we have an opportunity to engage in discussions with one another over the next few days can be traced back to the initiative of one man. Professor Schwab, you have managed to realize your vision, and you have created a unique network. Dear Klaus Schwab, Dear Mrs. Schwab, I'd like to thank you personally, but also on behalf of the Swiss government and on behalf of us all. And I'd like to thank you on behalf of the thousands of participants for this initiative. What you have achieved is to be able to organize a meeting without a hidden agenda and in an independent and balanced way, in a neutral place, in a neutral Switzerland, and to allow us to be able to develop personal contacts here. And it is these personal meetings and contacts which will allow us to contribute to a better understanding of one another. The World Economic Forum has been fulfilling for the last 50 years the clear and growing needs of us all. And that is all the more amazing as the World Economic Forum has been able to develop its important role in spite of the fact that there is an incalculable number of other private and state-based fora at all levels in the world. Globalization 4.0. The fourth industrial revolution, our day-to-day lives, our politics, our economics, in fact, society at large, are all influenced by the galloping pace of technological change. Now, although new technologies offer us immense opportunities and give birth to dreams, at the same time, they raise uncertainties, and many people are worried by these developments. The World Economic Forum has been looking at these issues in particular. The few key words I have just mentioned are well known in Switzerland. After all, we have an innovative and competitive economy. Our universities and colleges of technologies of excellent level, as well as an integrated economy in global networks, are driving forces for the new technologies. Together with the scientific and business community, the government attaches much importance to creating a favorable environment to the dynamic development which is important for businesses as well as the Swiss population. We think that we are able to make an appreciable contribution to global growth, and in particular with our business partners throughout the world. And if I could just paraphrase Albert Einstein when he once said, "Those who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those who are busy doing it."
A further important element in how we are dealing with the new phase of globalization is our political system of direct democracy, which always forces us to engage with the population. We thereby define a common path for future development. For example, in a popular vote held a few years ago, Swiss voters rejected an initiative to give everyone an extra week of vacation. Because more vacation is not the answer to the new challenges in working life. The right answer is the will to perform and adapt. That is our understanding, and those are our values. That is what we are building on. Also, the dialogue between elites and the people is important. I'm talking specifically about dialogue, and definitively not about the monologue from top to bottom. The democratic process can take a long time, but they lead to balanced solutions and acceptance of the results. In addition, we all struggle to find balance in our daily lives, in our families, in the political field, and in the business world. Switzerland is an open economy. We want free and fair trade in goods and services. We are also open to a free exchange of opinions. New ideas must be discussed and tested. We reject dictates. The most used word in our constitution is freedom. We are proud of that. But freedom is most of all a duty. We are free to assume responsibility for ourselves and others. We are looking now forward to the 2019 World Economic Forum, to candid discussions in freedom among equals. Let us build the future based on our values, making wise use of new technologies. Personal relationships are probably our most important tools today. They open doors. Let us open them together. I wish you good days in Switzerland. Have fun and pleasure. Thank you for your coming.